I always tell people the story about grape production in the Western Cape, in the Uppington area. By the time the water's got to Uppington, it's been through at least 7 sets of kidneys by that time. So we don't buy water, we rent it. What it means is that with the water we have today, the water that is in this bottle here, actually went through a dinosaur's kidney 65 million years ago. So the aberration that we have for recycling, oh, we don't want to do that. You know, oh, we don't drink sewage. We all drink sewage every single day of our lives. So we just need to do it properly. In fact, what is significant is that you take one of the most sophisticated economies of the world today, Singapore. Singapore hasn't got water. And they made a strategic decision at the highest level that the only way that they can continue to become a major economic entity is to recycle water. And they reinvented the notion of recycling sewage, and they branded it as new water. So when you go to Singapore and you buy a bottle of new water, it's recycled sewage water in the safest possible way. And they're doing a similar thing in the city of Perth today, where a substantial portion of the water supply for the city of Perth actually comes from recycled sewage. Water security is a function of 6 entities. It's called the assurance of supply. And water security is derived from the guarantee of a given volume of water at a given quality, at a given price, in a given time and a given place. Water, in order to meet these assurance of supply requirements, you need a huge amount of infrastructure to back you up. And one of the things you have to do is you've got to be able to store water during times of abundance in order to make it available in times of scarcity. Now, because of 2 things in Gauteng, we are now increasingly becoming water insecure. The first thing is the politicization or the intervention in the tendering process by politicians, which has delayed phase 2 of the Lesotho Highlands water scheme, the Polyharley Dam. But the second thing is a dam management or an environmental management rule. And this rule is that at the barrage, salinity in the barrage is measured as TDS, total dissolved solid, and once a certain threshold is reached, the managers are obliged to reduce that within specification, and the only way that they can reduce that is to release fresh water from upstream. So we now have this water security situation whereby we are releasing our water that should be in strategic supply. We're releasing it for short-term management of water quality, and that is where the desalination comes in. If we had desalinated the water as the Department of Water and Sanitation's own plan was, in time, then we wouldn't have had the crisis in 2015, where Gauteng ran into serious water constraints. Both Perth and Cape Town are in a climatically similar situation. The entire planet Earth has got 6 parts of the world where you've got winter rainfall, so-called Mediterranean climate. Besides the Mediterranean area itself, you've got California, you've got Chile, you've got the Western Cape, you've got Western Australia, and you've got South Australia that all have the same kind of climate. So they both have the same challenges. Now, Perth is a city of 1.2 million people. And what they've done is they've decided that rather than discharge a significant volume of sewage into the ocean as they do in Cape Town every day, they're going to recover that. And they do that at a place called the Beanie-Up Wastewater Treatment Works. And the Beanie-Up Wastewater Treatment Works does 2 very clever things. It recovers 120 megalitres a day of high quality water. And the second thing that they do there is instead of just sending that straight back into the system, they store it in the groundwater aquifer, a place called the Leederville Aquifer System, for 25 years. And they ultimately blend a small volume of the sewage recovered water into the mainstream of water supply. It's not far-fetched because in Namibia, Windhoek, that's been happening since the 1980s. In my professional opinion, I might be wrong and I hope I am wrong, Day 0 is going to happen. Therefore, it's the most prudent thing right now in the context of that probability to plan for the worst but hope for the best. So now the airplane's going to come into ground. It's still flying. We don't have dead bodies yet. So we're going to have a bumpy landing. People must adopt the brace position. And once we've done that, now we're safe on the ground. Now we can start saying, what do we have to do next? But from a professional perspective, that is all that I'm concerned about right now, and I'm spending all of my professional energies in getting through this immediate short-term situation, helping clients to understand what it is that they need to do next. Because in one sense of the word, when you don't know what you don't know, you are extremely vulnerable.